There's no question it's become a bit fashionable to grab a sign and join the Menendez movement, that is, free Erik and Lyle. Ever since the Monsters documentary dropped on Netflix, more and more people have changed their tune about those brothers. And even though Erik and Lyle freely admit to shooting their parents in cold blood, there's a groundswell of people who believe they should be freed after 35 years behind bars. But a new doc just released by TMZ digs a whole lot deeper and features people who were there. The cops, the reporters, the fellow inmates, the family, people who alternately describe them as either angels or devils, just days away from a critical hearing about their freedom.
They're completely different men, as would be expected. They lost a little bit of that arrogance that they had as kids being raised with money. They are very humble human beings.
If they're released, do you think they pose a danger to society?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think there's a risk. I do not know. Do you want to have them over for a dinner party at your house, Harvey?
The doc is called The Menendez Brothers, The Prison Interview, and it just dropped yesterday. And today, I talked about it with my old friend and TMZ executive producer, Harvey Levin. Harvey, I feel like we're getting down to the wire for some kind of decision-making in the Menendez case. So this documentary really couldn't come out at a better time.
Yeah, Friday, there's going to be a dogfight in court. The resentencing hearing goes down then, and the new DA has said he is not only opposing resentencing, he wants to yank the petition to resentence them, which the old DA submitted. I think they're going to have a hearing, but Ashleigh, honestly, it doesn't matter, because even if the judge changes the sentence, say he changes it to just life in prison and takes away without parole, the only thing that would happen is it would go to the parole board. But it's already at the parole board because the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has sent it there and asked the parole board to review the case. So resentencing, to me, is irrelevant. The only thing that would make a difference, I know that their lawyer, Mark Garagos, is not only going to ask resentencing, he's going to ask the judge to change the conviction from murder to manslaughter. Now, if he gets that, and personally, I just don't see that happening, but if he gets that, they get out instantly because they've served more than 3 times the max for manslaughter. So that's his end goal. But short of that, I don't think resentencing matters at all because Newsom now has the case.
The former inmate who spent 18 years, he said, I spent 18 years with the Menendez brothers. It was probably the bulk of that with one brother and then the rest of it when the two were reunited. Right. But he had some very strong opinions, having lived with them and having been paroled, mostly because the Menendez brothers helped him to prepare for his parole hearings, as they did other inmates, without any notion that they'd ever get parole themselves, which was a very interesting concept. Talk to me a little bit about that rapper who's now out and his feelings about the brothers.
He loves them. He loves the Menendez brothers and says, and I think you just nailed it, Ashleigh, that, when they helped this guy, this rapper, who is now out and prospering, they had no hope of ever getting out. That only emerged a year and a half ago or so. They had no hope of getting out. And they didn't just help him. They helped a lot of inmates. They spent a lot of time with inmates trying to rehabilitate them. But in addition, they started a hospice program. They started a suicide prevention program. They started a green space program. They got advanced college degrees. And they did all of this knowing at the time they were never going to see freedom again. And so that, to me, says something big, that, these guys, look, Ashleigh, I covered this case. The trials. And back then, I thought they were spoiled brats, they were monsters, and the sentence seemed appropriate. The conversation I had with them recently that you hear in this documentary, I'm talking to 2 different people. They are thoughtful, they're introspective, they're remorseful, and they're evolved. And I can be fooled, but I don't think I'm being fooled. And when you listen to the rapper who was with him for 18 years, he reinforces all of that. And look, every living family member wants them out as well. So my opinion is these guys have really been rehabilitated, and they are deserving of that second chance, knowing how horrendous their crime was.
Well, the doc is great, and I really recommend people watch it because it is a balanced approach to this story, and it gives you, perspectives from people who were there, people involved, people with a direct stake and with direct knowledge, which I'm always a big fan of. Great job. I really liked it. Thanks so much, Harvey.
I really appreciate that, Ashleigh. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.